anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. On Fire Radio.
Fire burning in my soul. Fire burning in my soul. Anytime, anywhere.
Our journeys through education take many routes from our early years to university. Academic Crossroads is here to explore key elements to help equip you along the way. So join us and our special guests as we also discuss the expected and unexpected paths, including all the challenges and triumphs while gathering your academic top tips.
This is Academic Crossroads with your host, Dr. Leanne J. Adeyemi.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Academic Crossroads here on Fire Radio. So we are coming to you live from the On Fire Radio studio. And today we are focusing on a World Book Day special. So for those of you that have kids right now and they're in primary school, I'm sure you've received messages, the emails, the school communications to say, World Book Day, World Book Day. World Book Day is coming up this week. And often schools ask children to dress up. For those of you that have been through it already, you know, you've done the primary school thing, you've done the secondary school thing, then I'm sure you must have memories of dressing up. Some where we forgot about World Book Day until the morning of, so parents are just trying to throw in whatever, or you happen to have like a top with a character on it or something like that, and so that is what you end up wearing. But whatever your experience may be, World Book Day is coming up soon, just in a few days. And so today I have a special guest. I have a special guest with me here on the show, and we'll be bringing them on a little bit later. But World Book Day, what was your experience? What do you remember of World Book Day? Did you have any some of you might have had amazing costumes. Maybe your parents made the costume themselves, hand-stitched, sewn together. Maybe you were painting cardboard and punching holes so you can tie it together with string. What were your experiences with World Book Day? So good evening, Miss Kelly, Mama Val, Nigel, Goodness, Sib. Thank you all for joining us. So Goodness, you said, I used to wear my own clothes and make up a character. Goodness, come on. I'm sure there were plenty of characters that you could be. But what were your experiences of World Book Day? Or do you have a favorite character now that you think, actually, I would go to school as that character? and they often make the kids bring in the book as well, isn't it, to go alongside their costume that they wear. But whatever it is, whatever your experience has been, for some it was another mufti day, another own clothes day, non-uniform days for some, and for others, I know they went all out. And for those of you that are teachers as well, what are your plans for this year? I know some teachers have sort of put their outfits together, you know, to make a character, which is in a book, but make a character that's a bit easier. Whereas others, they've rented costumes. I've seen bunny costumes before, and things like that. So what is it that you've done? Good evening, Stephen. So you've said that Josiah's favorite character, King Josiah. Exactly. Why not Bible characters? And Amaya, Queen Esther. Queen Esther is one of, I think I would, thinking back now, I would go as Queen Esther as well. Can have a nice crown, could do the outfit. And then there are plenty. You can either bring your Bible, you bring your Bible with you to school, or you can find a book where the Bible stories have been retold for children. So there are quite a few books like that, like Little Bible Heroes, where they're really they're quite thin, and so it might be easy for them to carry around. But definitely King Josiah and Queen Esther are on the cards for this year. So World Book Day, what is it? What's the point of it? Why are we here? But before I go into that, it is to announce we do have a giveaway happening today. So you will need to make sure your ears are locked in to the episode. You will need to, I would advise that you take notes of some dates that are discussed throughout the episode, because they may come in handy later. So later we will be asking you a question relating to the content of the show, and you will have to send a message to the on-call number, and then we will do a random generator, only for those of you that get it right, obviously. But you will need to message your answers and your name to the on-call number, which we will share with you shortly. And then we will do a random generator, and one of you will be in for a chance to win. And obviously it's going to be World Book Day related. It's going to be World Book Day related. So stay tuned and keep your ears open. Make a note. So World Book Day. So what is the point of World Book Day? Well, the first ever World Book Day actually took place in 1995. So it's been going on for a long while. A long while. And so with that 1995, that is a long time. But the first one in the UK started a couple of years later in 1999. So the first ever one was celebrated, and this was a worldwide celebration of books and reading, and then a few years later it came over to the UK, and then that's when it began in 1997. But currently it is celebrated across over 100 countries worldwide. So that gives so many children the opportunity to pick up a book and read. Now, the mission of World Book Day is to promote reading for pleasure, for enjoyment, and offering every child and young person the opportunity to have a book of their own. Now, when I say a book of their own, sometimes, you know, kids will pick up one book and that is all they want to read. Like, I know with with my kids, they can find their favorite book and read it over and over and over and over and over again. And the story can be so exciting every single time. So imagine World Book Day has been a celebration that has been going on since 1995. And it's providing and making great movements for children. And so when we think of World Book Day, it's like, oh yeah, okay, so we want to get children to read. We want children to enjoy reading, but why? What's the point? Like, it sounds nice, right? Oh yeah, get children to enjoy books. It sounds nice, but there is a point to all of this. And so reading, when children actually read for enjoyment, there are so many benefits for them now in their younger years, but also in the future. And unfortunately, at the moment, here in the UK, children's reading for enjoyment is at the lowest it has been since records began. Now, records began in the early 2000s, and so we've had about, what are we saying, it's 2024, so we've had a long while of this being recorded and the data being captured and insights and things like that. And so with it being at its lowest point, we'll get into the benefits in a minute, but it just goes to show that actually there are so many children that could be missing out. But us as parents, for those of you that are educators, if you are an auntie or uncle, if you work with children, then we can do so much to change that. And all we have to do is pick up a book and read with them. So with that being said, children who read are more likely to overcome, especially those who are experiencing different disadvantaged circumstances or they're in disadvantaged environments, things like that. They are more likely to overcome so many things. And part of it is a general thing for children. So for most children, if they are reading at night, for example, then actually it promotes better sleep, and they can also sleep for longer, which for children is important for their development, and it also helps promote brain function. So when children are really young, that is like the prime time. I'm sure, like, for those of you that have had children yourselves, when you have your midwife's appointments and things like that, and you're going through the process, then they're like, oh, you can speak to your child, you can speak to the child in the belly, and all of that, because it helps brain development, it helps brain function. And so it carries on actually in their first 5 years outside of the womb as well. And so if you are there reading with your children, they experience the vocabulary, they understand. Part of it is how to read, but then it's also the actual brain development, their ability to concentrate and their active attention and things like that. And so they can have improved brain function as well. Now, there are other things on the other side of the spectrum as well, where children that read more actually have improved economic advancement as well. And part of this is due to the improved academic advancement and their academic performance. So whereby children are reading, they're exposed to a lot more words, they're exposed to a lot more content as well. It's a great opportunity for you as a parent to ask questions and actually build their ability to hear something, process it, and then relay that information to you, for one, but also gives them such a great opportunity to then think about what they've heard and actually be able to think and ask questions of, why did that happen? What happened before? What happened after? So they can take the information in and process it. And imagine, World Book Day first ever came about in 1995. So this is an initiative that has been promoting all of these things to provide children with all of these benefits since 1995, which is amazing. And in terms in terms of some elements that are disadvantaged, for example, so there's a lot of research that has gone in to say that actually a parent's level of education and also a parent's where they sit on the economic scale can impact a child's outcomes once they leave school. So at the age of 16, when they're going through like GCSEs and then onto A levels or BTECs, then actually a parent's level of education. So essentially, the higher the parent's education, the higher the child is expected to achieve. But if you read with your child, there is evidence to suggest that actually reading a lot with your children can overcome that. So whether a person has a PhD or whether a person didn't even get their GCSEs, if you're reading with your children, you can have more of an impact than where you are in terms of your academic achievements. So it's something that really needs to be pushed. Regardless of your level of education, reading is important. And so if you just by hearing that, if you feel like, oh, but I didn't go to school and get my GCSEs, you can still read with your child. You can still give them better outcomes and better opportunities and give them better achievements later down the line, regardless of what level of education you have. And also, for some, it may be that actually you have your GCSEs, but maybe you didn't really get the best of grades, or you even have your A-levels and maybe you didn't get the best of grades. And so even in those circumstances, just read with your children. It can make such an impact and have such positive outcomes for them. And it's just something you can do. Take 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, however long you have. I know that sometimes parents, we can be busy, right? We've got work to do. We've got houses to sort out, you know. You've got other commitments and stuff like that. But just taking that 5 to 10 minutes a day, even if it is just before your children go to bed, when they wake up, when they get back from school, at whatever point during the day you have the time for, please invest in reading with them. Because actually, if children develop an enjoyment for reading, this has 4 times more power than actually 4 times more power in terms of their progression in maths and their vocabulary and spelling and their English skills than it does your educational level and where you sit on the economic scale as well. So imagine that just by taking that 5-10 minutes a day, you're already improving your child's outcomes by 4 times more. And so with reading, like I mentioned earlier, I am not alone here today. So with reading, we need something to read, right? we need something to read. And so I have with me here today author extraordinaire. she has written she's written from poetry. We'll say poetry, right? She has written from poetry books and has recently began a children's book series as well. So without further ado, I will introduce the one and the only Priscilla. So welcome to the show, Priscilla. Thank you for joining us.
You hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. We can hear you live in the studio.
Perfect.
So thank you for joining us, Priscilla. Now, it is World Book Day. What was your favorite book growing up? We'll start with that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say I didn't have a particular favorite book, but I had a favorite author.
Okay.
So Jacqueline Wilson, because obviously she wrote like the Tracy Beaker series, Diamond Girl Club, Suitcase Kid, stuff like that. I also loved a series called The Sleepover Club, but I don't remember the author. I also loved like the classic primary school books as well, like The Big Caterpillar, stuff like that, Hand of Surprise. But yeah, those kind of books.
Oh, nice. So before we get into the Anaiyah series, what was we'll just find out a little bit about you. I think that's the best place to start, right? So where did your love for books and reading, where did it all start and where did it all come from?
So I would say from a young age, by the grace, luckily, my father took myself and my brother to the library every Saturday morning. So you would have to pick 3 books, one that you were currently like that related to your homework or in school, one that you liked, like if you had an interest in, and then one just for fun to balance it out. And so from doing I started to look forward to that, believe it or not, every morning. I knew that after I woke up and did what I needed to do and clean the house and everything, I knew I'd go to the library with my brother and my dad, and that's what we would do. And so I just started fun. I took it as an extra exercise because he's a big promoter of education. So he started to basically promote it even more so. And just wanted us to basically read all the time. He thought reading was so important. Education is the biggest thing, is very important. So all that we do is related into reading. I loved reading because it took me to a different place than what I was living in. So your reality to your fantasy kind of thing. So it was like, it became an escapism really. But yeah, reading then became more than just a hobby. It just became something that I actually love to do.
And how much, looking back on it, how much do you think like your dad actually going with you to the library and doing that process? And then what was it like once you got home? Was it just like you were sort of left to your own devices to read the books? Did your dad like check in during the week? Like what was that like?
Yeah, he did more than a check-in. Well, everyone had normal homework. We had extra homework. So you have to read that book from Monday to Friday, and you would actually have to, by Friday evening, he bought these exercise books from Poundland, and you would have to write a summary about your book. And then you would have to tell him what you read in that book. And then you had to read that book to him. So if I was reading, as most of you know, I talk very fast, but that's because, reading helps me break that down. But as I was reading, he would pause and he would just be like, oh, like, mommy, calm down, there's a comma, start again. So it actually started to become a thing. Looking back, I didn't like the exercises as much because it started however, it improved my writing skills as well. So I don't know who has seen my writing, but he made us like write neatly in our books and everything that we did, writing on the line and being careful and how you write. It became a real like private school, if you think about it, on top of actually going to school daily. So looking back now, very, very implemental, very vital. It's because of that I then started to have a love of reading on my own. So as I grew up, reading my own novels, getting into fiction, crime documentaries, other things, and because of that, it helped build my confidence with speaking as well, I would say. Reading also helped me with essays. I started to expand my vocabulary and basically feel more confident about what I was talking about in class or if I was coming out. But yeah, it was very important.
I mean, you've clearly been writing summaries and essays since you were like young.
Yeah,
you've clearly been writing them since you were young. So definitely a good start. But that's amazing that your dad actually took the time to go and do that. I know that sometimes, especially as parents, like time goes, like the day can go before you know it, like it's the end of the day and you're on 100 literally like all the time, but actually taking the time out, making sure that things like that are done. And it doesn't necessarily have to be somewhere where you like actually go to your local library. You may have a library in your house. It may be a library of 5 books to start, and that is fine. But start where you can. But doing things like that are really important, and clearly for you as well, Priscilla, like it's been pivotal to your development. And like you said as well, like it's not just the reading, right? It's the fact that you had to think about what you read, put it in a summary, read it then back to your dad. he would then ask you questions. You would have to read out loud. He would take you through it. So there are so many different elements that just that alone took you through. And also, did you have competitions with your brothers in terms of like who finished first and stuff like that?
Oh, 1,000%. Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. And because I felt like they're a guy, my dad's a guy, he would choose them. But I had to remember I'm the only girl and I'm technically his favourite. So I would win by default. But there was days like he would give it to them. But there was competitions. It was like, oh, if you do this well, then, you know, Saturday when we go here, I'll get you this. Or if you do this. But the incentives didn't come straight away. Because at first it was more or less that he didn't want us to be the lowest in class or the worst in class. Do you get what I mean? He wanted us to just like be in education and be important. So it would, don't think that you shouldn't be the best in your class just because of where you're from kind of vibe. He didn't want no, because you're in this school, you're in this class, or you're in this set, it doesn't mean you don't know better than whoever is next to you. So he put head that we can keep on going and keep on striving for better. So when the competition started with my brothers, it was a healthy competition, mind you. It wasn't anything like, oh, I've won, so that one feels bad. If anything, it boosts you more, because in the next day, it's like, okay, I'll say, okay, well, I'm going to read more chapters before you. They'll be like, yeah, I'm going to read. It became like that. Kind of nerdy, but that's what happened. So while they slept, I was reading. I would, you know, keep... angry, I'll go to the living room, read again, because I kept thinking, no, I have to do well on Friday, because after work he's going to ask us questions and I'm going to have to know these answers. So I start it. But that literally went up from year 1 to year 6, literally all the way up to my sats.
Wow, that is so amazing. And we've got some Anaiyah Series fans as well. So Aurelia has said the Anaiyah Series, so she's looking and she's remembering it. We also have Sandra here with us today, who has said, my daughter takes her book to preschool all the time. She loves the Anaiyah Series. Sarah, you said, I'm a fan too. So, I mean, this book is something special, honestly. And we'll let you get into it a little bit more. So in terms of the Anaiyah Series, like where did your inspiration for the series come from? Because you've got one book that's out and you've got more in the works as well. But like where did it come from?
So the Anaiyah Series is quite funny, because it's not like one of those that, oh, I saw a child and I was inspired, or I write a children's series. I never actually ever wanted to write children's series or children's books. It just wasn't my calling at the time. It wasn't my forte to do. I always poetry, monologues, songs, I believe I write some, and things like that. And I would rewrite episodes of things I had watched, stuff like that. But I never dived into children's series in particular until one of my family friends, shout out to Bridget Adams, she has her own publishing company. And basically where I was feeling very low, so I think as I was coming to Christ, I was like, how am I going to write? What am I going to write? Are people going to like it? And I was a bit like conflicted with myself. I didn't know if my writing could still take in the new me, put it like that. I didn't. So we just sat down and we had a chat, and I just told her, and she was like, okay, so tell me about your childhood, tell me about life and stuff. Didn't give her all the details, but I gave her some synopsis, and then she literally was like, you have a children's series right here. I was like, really? I was like, this whole thing, I don't know. She was like, just, well, you go home, look at it, and then let me know, but I'm here to assist you. I was like, okay. So I went home, and I remembered our conversations. I said, you know what? You know me, and I'm an overthinker. So I was like, you know what? My head is hurting. Let me just have a nap, and then we'll... That evening, woke up and the dream came. Literally, the name, how she would look, how her hair would be. Okay, cool. I'm going to name her Anaiyah. Let me research what that means. Okay, God presented her, God showed her in Hebrew. Okay, Micah. Okay, why Micah? Okay, Jacob. So all these names started coming in my head, and I didn't understand. I was like, okay, this sounds like a cute family. Okay, let's do that. I wanted the mother to be the matriarch, nurturing. I wanted the dad to be the man of the house with royal. I needed to make sure I can incorporate what I had learned so far as a Christian, and then also a little bit of my life coming in from when I was I have a book here that I can show you. I don't know if you see clearly because, sorry guys, my hand is tiny. But you can see, literally, it was just a mind map. So I put everything together, the name, the book, how I'm going to do it. And all of this came out after a dream. I just wrote it all down.
Wow.
I said, I'm going to forget. So I always, Leanne, you know me, I always write mind maps. I'm a mind map addict. So I literally wrote everything into a mind map. I said, wow, did I just write 3 books? I was like, okay. So I called her quickly and I told her, and she was like, so you're telling me this was just in you? And I said, I believe so. And then we just went there. So I wrote the book literally in one day. And then we went from there, building a focus group, researching it more, realizing that although this is a niche, it's also quite big in the world, but not many either market it well or not many like do so much for it. But then I don't want it to just be a children's series book. I want it to have a global impact. I want it to also include writing because I have a love for writing. So I was like, I want to do activities, workshops. I want it to go further. I want it to inspire a little girl more just like me. So my main thing when people used to ask me, but why the name or why does it have to be a girl in the book? And I said, for me personally, I didn't have these books growing up. I just kind of just went to church and did what I needed to do and just became a church girl. But I never had books that I could read that could implement biblical things to me so I can understand it. There wasn't a breakdown of just do it. And, you know, you understand as you get. But I wanted the kid to read something and I wanted someone to have positive affirmations as a young girl. Hence why in the book I included that as well. And of course, because I love activities, I added a word. So there's a little bit of me in the book, things that I used to like that I started to add. But yeah.
And I think what you're saying is so important in that, like, just hearing how God literally gave you this dream and then it's produced a book with more to come. Amen. And like knowing and hearing that that's where this book has come from. It also just makes me think like, it's actually important for us as parents to know like where the books we're reading to our children come from and like what is steering them, what has inspired them and things like that. Because I would much rather prefer to read the Anaiyah series knowing that this has been the process and this is something that is actually contributing, especially to all my children, but especially my daughters as well. But knowing it's something that's contributing to them, there's affirmations, it's biblically based, so it's still steering them in the direction of the truth of the word, as opposed to something that's not and something that might have come from elsewhere. Something that's come from elsewhere. But actually, if we use the Bible and we also have books such as the Anaiyah series that are actually supporting this as we go, they can see themselves in the books, you know, and it's such an amazing thing. And it's just reaffirming the importance for us as parents and educators to know like where the books that we are reading are coming from and what they're steering and what the agendas are and things like that. So it's such an amazing thing. And Stephen said he searched the authors of some books, and he's not sure about them. But knowing that the Anaiyah series, like this is the story behind it, is truly amazing. And thank God that you've been obedient as well to it, and you are pressing forward with it because you have done some amazing work so far, and we are really looking forward to see where the Anaiyah series is going in the future. So saying that, before we continue, we do have a giveaway today. So I did say that please make sure you take some notes on specific things that come up. It will be really helpful for you if you do have notes of the things that we have mentioned, particularly dates and benefits and things like that of reading. So just for those of you that maybe joined us later, we will be having a giveaway. And in that giveaway, you will be winning a book from the Anaiyah series, as well as what Priscilla mentioned about affirmations in the book. It is not just in the book. So what Priscilla will be bringing out, so you'll be one of the first to receive this actually. What Priscilla will be bringing out is an affirmation poster. And so you will be in with a chance to win this amazing poster, which comes straight from the book and alongside a book as well. Now, unfortunately, it is only UK participants that are able to win. So please, please bear with us on that. But what you will have to do is send a message to the on-call number. And with that, we will be asking 2 specific dates. So one of the dates we will be asking you for is, what was the date that the first ever World Book Day took place? And our second question is, what is the date that the Anaiyah series was first published? So what was the date that the first ever World Book Day took place? And what was the date that the Anaiyah series was published? So please send your answers, not right now, because we've still got some content to drop for you. But send your answer to 07955 797684. So that is 07955 797684. So keep an ear out and keep an eye out, as we will be continuing to drop you some information as we go. So we've heard your inspiration. The number is on the screen, so please take note of it. Here, does that work? Here. So please do take note of it. But the inspiration behind the Anaiyah series is truly amazing, and it's so amazing that actually such a book with such an inspiration and being inspired by God is adding to World Book Day everywhere. And we're going global, Priscilla, right? We're going global. we're going global. So with that being said, it is really truly amazing that you are actually contributing to World Book Day, which has been going on since 1995, and you know more books are coming out as well. So speaking of your book, who is it for? And well, I guess you've given us the info about why you wrote it, isn't it? But like, who is it for, and what's your motivation, and what's your idea and vision for the future on that?
Okay, it is for young kids all over the world, particularly from the ages of 3 and above. Even you as an adult can gain something from it. I wouldn't let it pass you to say that you wouldn't read a positive affirmation and think, oh, I wish I had this when I was younger. Something like that. For kids around those age, but it's also for children who, like myself, were in certain situations or were exposed to things, but they can read it and see a little bit of themselves in the book. Yeah. Mainly the motivation is because of the way we as a tech world, statistically now it's 1 in 10 of children in classrooms who don't know how to write properly, because everything is now digitally given, from their homework to school pay, etc. So kids cannot write as well as they used to. Don't know how to read as well as they used to, because they're used to scrolling and shorts and reels and etc. So my aim is to basically provide that and give people the understanding that your basic skills and knowledge of reading and writing shouldn't go unnoticed. We shouldn't take them for granted. These skills people are fortunate enough to learn from young, and then sometimes you don't even realize that, oh wow, I can actually read, I can actually write. But it's a skill, it's a gift, even if you think about it, because not many can do so. I believe that the vision for Anaiyah series, as I mentioned before, it's an evolution. It's a global impact. And I say that because it will shock you guys what I will bring out this year. As you can see, Leanne has shown you the positive affirmation poster. But I have more to, Leanne's one of those that I would message and tell, but I can literally think I'm going to have a nice, peaceful night. It's going to be great. No.
The ideas.
So I constantly keep getting dreams and visions of, okay, so I should do this. Okay, so I should turn it into this. Oh, okay, I should write this. So like, as you mentioned, other books will be coming out. Anaiyah and Friends, that's out on Easter Sunday. And that book is basically about children building fellowship and understand the true meaning behind it from a young age. I also forgiveness, kindness, sharing. There's also new activities that I've added. We still have our classic word search, but new activities. I have other merch coming out as well that I won't reveal yet. Just stay tuned, subscribe to the newsletter, I'll say. But more things are coming with the Anaiyah series. This week, by the grace, I'm going to a school on World Book Day to give them an assembly and talk to them about it and present some activities as well. I want to go into workshops and have children read and learn from one another. Also, I could be helping the next generation of writers, helping them understand behind creative writing, the beginning, middle, end. How does the plot come? Because every child has a gift in them. Someone might just think, oh, I can draw. But no, you could be an artist. You could be an architect. Someone might just think, oh, I'm reading. No, but you can go and read out loud for many people. You can be someone who develops speeches or be on a debate team. Another may think, oh, I just write. No, you can go and be a writer. Someone may think, oh, I talk a lot and I just always ask questions. You can be a journalist. So many things can come from children when pointed in the right direction and when given. And I want to be that person where I go into the classroom and I can just sense that. And I just know, okay, by talking to this kid today or be praying for this classroom today, I know that, okay, this kid is going to develop. I also want to do one-to-one mentoring with parents and kids who have, with children who have poor literacy skills, as you mentioned earlier, because of their environment or economic background. Many children don't have the advantage or the pleasure to read for fun or just to have some people, they just get that from school, if they're lucky, that is, and then, they give it back to school and then they swap books, etc. I want to help people understand that they can get that from the Anaiyah series, from reading books such as ours and activities. With mentoring, we can help parents and children bridge that gap of communication, comprehension, also. But it can go further. I feel like the more I put time and energy into it and prayer and I get more ideas. Now, capacity-wise, I believe God thinks I have it. And sometimes
you have it.
This is why can't I just be, I won't lie to you guys. Sometimes I've sat there and thought, why can't I just be the author who writes the books and sell them? Or why can't I just be the author who has the books and the merchandise? But then I realize what God has given me is more than just a book. It's a mission. And so many factors have to be included. So the activities, the workshops, the speaking engagements, the one-to-one mentoring, the charities, other things that I'm going to bring forth in her name. And so now her name is now prevailing, because Anaiyah in Hebrew means God has shown or God has presented us. And so that is what Anaiyah is doing. She's really everything forth with herself and her family. So there's so much more to come. But
that is amazing.
I'm going to be stepping into Anaiyah's world very soon.
This is no small vision. This is not even a one-hit wonder, a one-time thing. This has vision for decades to come, which is so amazing. And what you've already started and what you've brought out. You've already published your first book. When was that published, and when did you bring that out? And then what's the vision for the actual books in the series as well?
So I even have the copy with me here. So whoever does win, you'll be winning a signed copy from me.
Exclusive. Wait. We've got exclusive signed copy of the first original Anaiyah series, along with the affirmation poster. So make sure you are in it to win it. So make sure you're taking notes, taking notes of the dates. But it is not just, we realize now it's not just any book. So this is the first one, and then what is to come?
Yeah, so this is the first one, Becoming Anaiyah. And so what is to come is Anaiyah and Friends, that will come out Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday, I will also have a special exclusive, as in I'm excited, so I'm trying to contain it so I don't share it.
I feel like I need one of those sound bites that go, ooh.
I will be sharing it for those who have helped me with my focus group, so don't worry, you know who you are. Those who have helped me, they will get a private link to something, and it's going to be it's one to watch, but let's just say this will be one for families and kids to enjoy together. That will be coming out as well. So yes, Anaiyah Series actually came out on the 9th of February. I published it on the 10th. So I just did the 1 year, just a month ago. We had a private dining experience. So that was quite amazing. I invited my local borough's newspapers, content creators, Christian influencers as well, people that run Christian magazines as well as people who have helped contribute to the Anaiyah Series and those who have poured into me consistently since I've published it. And so we celebrated that and it was quite intimate. So then through that, you know how it goes. What happens? Another vision. So now
as far as I'm concerned, Lord, please keep them coming, because this is true. This is something special, honestly.
So then I'll be having another event on Saturday the 4th of May for the Londoners. Yay! For those in Coventry, if you love me enough, you'll travel. We're going to be having a brunch called Let's Dance Anaiyah, and we'll have a great panel with both men and women who are illustrators, readers, people who review books, and there'll be a bottomless brunch that'll be involved in your ticket as well when you come along. And in that venue, that venue especially, we'll be celebrating the second book release of Anaiyah and Friends. We'll get people to talk to us and let us know how they felt. There'll be interviews going on at the back. There'll be pop-ups of different people. So there'll be a lot going on. And then last year, as you know, I did Become an Anaiyah pop-up event. So I will be doing a 1 year of that in August called A Day with Anaiyah for kids and families. So it'll be like a fun day. It won't be so much panel based, but more activities, games, food, excitement. I'm saying this, I'm praying it stops in August, but I don't think it won't. I feel like
Priscilla, I don't think you heard yourself when you spoke of all the things that you had planned. This is not stopping in August. Just a reality check. This is definitely not stopping in August, and we do not want it to stop, because the Anaiyah Series truly has been amazing so far, and we are really looking forward to where it is going. So please make sure you take note of the number on the screen. So all you will need to do is text the year that World Book Day first ever came about, along with the year that the Anaiyah Series was published, and your name. And that is it. If you want to be in it to win it, then that is all you need to do. So once everybody has, I say everyone has sent their messages in, I think we'll do a bit of a countdown timer soon for when the competition closes. But all you need to do is message the year of the first ever World Book Day and the year that the Anaiyah Series was published as well, along with your name. So we know who our winner is, right? And we will pick using a random generator as well. So that has been some amazing information, amazing hearing about the Anaiyah Series. So where can we find the Anaiyah Series, Priscilla? Where's the best place to go? What do we need to do? Is it Instagram? Do you have a website? What's the...
All of the above, yeah. So on Instagram and on TikTok, we are at the Anaiyah Series, as it is spelled out there on my panel, you can see. I also have a website, theanaiyahseries.com. When you click on the website, the first thing under the banner, you can subscribe to the newsletter that gives you updates, exclusive discounts, and previews to what is to come with the Anaiyah Series. On the website, you can also order the paperback via Amazon, and hardbacks as well are available. For those who have been pestering me, it is available. So go and order. After all I would like to see your orders. The hardbacks available, so you can do that too. And you can also pre-order Anaiyah and Friends so that you can be the first one to receive it after Easter Sunday.
Nice. So thank you so much, Priscilla. It has been a pleasure, and it's so amazing to know that such a book is adding to World Book Day and what World Book Day stands for, and this initiative that has been about since 1995. So it's so amazing to know that actually books within that, and books that are being pushed and new books that are coming out are actually inspired by God and that are there to push children in Christ and based on biblical principles and aligning with the truth of the word. So thank you so much to your contribution to literature, to children's literature so far. And we can't wait to see and hear everything about the Anaiyah series. We will definitely have to get you back on the show. In some way, Academic Crossroads, we will be seeing the Anaiyah series soon, and if not specifically the Anaiyah series, but Priscilla, we will definitely have you back. So the competition is still open, so please text while you have a chance. And so going on and continuing on the theme of World Book Day, there are so many ways for you as parents to get involved, to encourage your children to read, and also to have fun with it as well, to really have fun with it. And there's a lot of research as well that says that where children feel more supported in their learning environments, then they are more likely to read for enjoyment. And so that can then promote all the benefits that we mentioned earlier that come along with that. And as you can see, especially from like Priscilla's example, just by her dad taking her to the library, he took her through that process. While she didn't seem to enjoy the summary parts of it, right, Priscilla? The summary parts of it at the time were not as enjoyable. But just by having that support and her dad doing it with her, then actually it was something that became an enjoyable thing. And there are plenty of ways that we as parents can actually facilitate that. And part of it is role modeling reading to them. Let them see you read, like let them see you picking up a book. You know, sometimes we feel like, oh, we just want to relax. We want to sit down and, you know, the kids, like, let's watch something on TV. Why don't you pick up a book? Pick up a book instead and give them that opportunity to actually see you reading as well. And also having books within your environment. So as well as you picking up a book, having books within the environment, where possible, making them easily accessible. Now, I know, trust me, I've got 3 young children at home. So I understand the book pages go in the mouth. They get ripped and things like that. But have sellotape on hand, you know, airing them out so they can dry a little bit. But children having access to books like that, and just seeing them in their environments can really help promote their desire to actually engage with books. The same way you may leave toys out for them and they'll go and play with the toys. It's the same way that you can leave books out, because they'll read, they'll look at them and flick through the pictures. And with them reading as well, there's a lot of ways that you can facilitate independent study and independent reading, but you also need to ensure that actually they actually enjoy it to start with, you know, that they actually want to pick up the book. And so that starts with us as parents and educators, whether you are auntie or uncle as well. That really starts with us. And actually, whilst they're reading, for those that are maybe a little bit older, so if they're already in nursery and in reception, then that sort of age, then they may already be doing their phonics, so they may already be doing their sounds for their letters and joining and blending letters and words, and then actually being able to read the words. So part of that is actually identifying what words can they read, what words do you know that they already know. So that might be just sitting down with them and reading and listening to them as they're reading, and as you're reading, what words are they sort of repeating, what words are they showing confidence in saying, and then getting them to actually read those words as you read with them, and encouraging them, celebrating them as they're doing it. And then the ones that you know that they find a bit harder, then using those practices that you can use within phonics. And so you're actually sounding out the word as well. And then let them hear you say the word. So you can say the word, sound out the word, say the word again, get them to repeat that process as well along with you, so that you're just gradually building their confidence. Because we all know, even as adults, when you find something hard, you don't really want to do it the first time, right? You're not really there to, and if something's hard, you just feel like, I just don't want to do this thing. And so we really need to build that confidence in our children, and that is a way that you can help them to do that, so that they actually feel comfortable, they feel supported within their learning environments. And so for World Book Day, some of the things that we as parents can do is you may want to set up a story. Sorry, I've just seen Joseph's comment. He said, how can we be sure the draw is fair? Well, we will check those that have done it, those that have given the right answers anyway, and we will be going to a random generator and we'll let you know who the winner is. So how can you engage your children in more reading, and especially in and around World Book Day? These aren't just things that you have to do for World Book Day, but actually you can do them at any time. So one of my first and favorite, I think this is my favorite suggestion, is stories and snacks. So this may be that you let your child choose their favorite stories. It may be the Anaiyah Series. You may pick their favorite Bible stories, and then you also have snacks with it. You know, their favorite snacks. What do they like? What do they like eating? And so then you just have a time where you're enjoying reading, you're eating, you know, spending that time together. It doesn't only help them as in terms of like their academic outputs and things like that, but actually that time really helps parents bond as well. So stories and snacks is definitely one to remember. And you can even bring in dressing up as well. So just getting them to dress up as their favorite Bible characters as well, their favorite characters from their favorite books. And or they may actually want to dress up as something. So earlier, Stephen, you mentioned about King Josiah and Queen Esther. It may also be that they want to dress up as the Ark. You know, they want to dress up as the Ark. So you might need to get your cardboard out, your glue, your paint, and things like that. But they might want to dress up as the Ark or the star. You know, there are plenty of people and objects and things in the Bible that can definitely help and that children will find interesting. Actually dressing up and doing all that is part of the process. And then with that, it may the wind you can even do the wind. And so it may be that actually you dress up and then you do your stories and snacks while everyone is in the attire. Parents, don't hold out on your kids. Dress up too. You know, we can get involved. Sometimes you just have to let that whole facade drop, and you have to release and just go for it 1,000% to help our children feel encouraged and supported. And that being said as well, one that is definitely a favorite in my household more recently, we have been doing Act It Out. Now, when I say act it out, I'm not talking miming either. Sometimes doing it with no words is quite hard for kids because they really want to tell you. They really want to tell you what it is, or they really want to get involved and start speaking. So if you're acting it out, it might be that you drop a one-liner from from the story. So we'll go with Noah's Ark. It might even be like, but Noah, it's not even raining. And then you'll know the story, right? Or you may be more practical with it, and you may use your pillows and build the walls of Jericho. You may march around it 6 times in silence, then use that 7th time to make all the noise you want in your house. and so there are plenty of stories to act out, and definitely a way for the children to get involved. Steph, you said, please share a pic of your costume next week. Well, unfortunately, I'm not sure if I will have evidence of the theatrics going on in my household, but I can assure you they will be going on. If we do manage to get some, maybe we'll share a little bit. And for those of you that maybe your children really like to sit and listen to stories, because not every child will necessarily want to be dramatic and be loud and all of that. So for those of you where your children really like drawing, it may be that you read some stories with them and then they draw things from the story. They might even be, if they're maybe a little bit older, they might be able to draw the whole story out and draw different bits and different things that happen. Or it may even be that they just draw a particular object, or they draw a particular character within the story. So there are some options for you for World Book Day and how you can make it enjoyable in your home. And it doesn't have to just be for World Book Day, but it can be something and activities that you engage in throughout the year. So we are here and aiming to really help and equip our children and support them in their learning and development. And reading is just one way to do it. And if you are looking for a book, then you already know what it is. The Anaiyah Series is definitely one to buy, unless you have entered our competition today, and you will be in for a chance to win. So just while I collate the names and stuff, I will be back in just a moment, and we will be announcing the winner of our competition. Joseph, it's going to be fair. We're doing a random draw, right? So it's going to be fair. So I will be with you in just one moment. Please don't go anywhere, and we will see who the winner is.
On Fire Radio.
Fire burning in my soul. Fire burning in my soul.
Anytime, anywhere. On Fire Radio.
Fire burning in my soul.
Anytime, anywhere.
Fire burning in my soul.
Anywhere.
Anytime, anywhere. Anytime.
anytime, anywhere.
When it's hard to focus, Lord, with many voices speaking, when days are harder than the rest, I'll always keep my eyes on you. I know you do not lie, 'cause in and out of season, you hold my hand and tell me that I just need to remember the child of who I am. I am a child of light, and I will walk as light. In the word it is written, so I know who I am, and I will keep my gaze on the one who calls me his. Lord, I will count on you to help me walk on water and help me shut out any voice.
This is Academic Crossroads.
And anytime I'm weary, you hold my hand and tell me that I just need to remember the child of who
This is Academic Crossroads.
So I will walk as light. In the word it is written, so I know who I am, and I will keep my gaze on the one who calls me his. The one
This
who calls me
is Academic Crossroads.
the one who calls me his, the one who calls me his. I see what you show me, I hear what you want me to. I'm not confused and lost
tuning
assured.
in. Thank you to all those that entered into our competition. So you are in for a chance to win the Anaiyah Series book, original, and it will be a signed copy, and also the exclusive affirmation poster as well, which is not out yet. So you will be one of, or I say one of the first, you will be the first person to have that affirmations poster with you in your home. So thank you to everybody that entered. Now, I will just say that not everybody that entered got the answer right. So if you don't see your name, the reason is that you didn't, unfortunately, you did not submit the correct answer. However, for those of you that truly were paying attention, you paid attention to the question, you also paid attention to the answers because you got them right. So we will go to our random generator wheel. Now, I wish I had a drum roll. I don't think I've got a drum roll. Have I got a drum roll? Nah, I haven't got a drum roll. But for those of you in your homes, drum roll, please. And the winner of our Anaiyah Series book and affirmations poster is A. Maurice. So well done, A. Maurice. You will be receiving your Anaiyah Series book along with your affirmations poster as well. So thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you to everybody that entered our competition. Well done, A. Maurice, for paying attention to questions and also answering them correctly. So that will be on its way to you. And A. Maurice, let us know what you think of the book. If you haven't read it already, we would love to hear from you and love to know what you think of the book and what you think of the affirmations poster as well. So I would like to say a massive thank you to the one and only Priscilla, author of the Anaiyah series, and what seems like an explosion of creativity, an explosion of progress and support for children and parents in and around education, which we cannot wait to see. And we are just praying that you continue on this journey with God and that you are obedient to the vision that He is giving to you, and may He strengthen you along the way, and may your destiny helpers be there truly, truly, truly. and support you along the way as well, that he will be glorified in it all. So thank you so much for your contribution to the show today, Priscilla. Thank you so much for your contribution to children's literature, for bringing out such an amazing book, and one that we know where it's come from. We know that we can read this to our children and be certain that actually it's directing them back to truth. So thank you so much. So A. Maurice is the winner, Priscilla. So we will sort out... we will sort out getting that to you very soon. So World Book Day, as much as we've spoken a lot about World Book Day, please, I implore you and I encourage you as parents to read with your children, even if it is just 5 minutes. It may be it may be a whole book. It may be that actually you pick a scripture that you want to read with them. You may find a children's book that is an adaptation of a Bible story and read that with them. They are a lot shorter. They've got pictures and things like that. So it doesn't have to be boring. We can make it fun as well. And so unfortunately, that is all we have time for today, but we will be back in the studio next week with another special guest. Actually, there is another special guest here on Academic Crossroads, and so we will be back with you next week. So I have been your host, Dr. Leanne J, here on Academic Crossroads, and as you know, the show is here to support and equip you in academic excellence and on your journey to finishing with excellence. So thank you so much. Well done, A. Maurice. Your prizes will be on their way to you shortly. And until next time, see you all later.
You have been listening to Academic Crossroads. Join us same time next week for more academic top tips with your host, Dr. Leanne J. Adeyemi. On Fire Radio.
Fire burning in my soul.
Anytime, anywhere.
Fire burning in my soul. Fire, fire, fire.
On Fire Radio.
Fire burning in my soul.
Anytime, anywhere.